Hello everybody, welcome back to FDE. It is round 2 of the KCKA series, and it was a roller coaster to say the least. We definitely started on a high and ended on kind of a low, but that's just how racing goes. It's unpredictable, and we'll get into it. Basically, there were 14 entries, I believe, 13 or 14 entries, I think, and during qualifying, we qualified P2. Again, we just can't get that P1 spot, but it is what it is. And when we went out for the first heat, the way they ran the track this time, and I guess I should specify hopefully on more videos if I remember this, but race 1 was counterclockwise full track. This race was clockwise short track, and so it was a little bit different configuration. Nonetheless, there was a specific turn that I knew was going to cause a little bit of issues just based off of me practicing by myself. It caused issues. I couldn't imagine it with a whole pack, and it did cause an issue. So heat 1, like I said, started P2, and what kind of sucks about that is coming around the corner to where the green flag drops, the inside lane definitely has an advantage. Not just because P1 gets to regulate the speed and everything coming in, but the acceleration zones are a little bit, in my opinion, not an advantage if you're on the outside, because as you're coming around wide, and while P1 and inside lane is taken off, I mean, you're basically left. You kind of have to floor it out of the acceleration curve basically to even keep up with the inside lane. Something that definitely bit me in the butt, but it happened. So fell back a couple spots on the heat, and I think I was back in like 4th trying to get my way back up to 3rd. And interestingly enough, what caused so many problems in the dirt track, I never imagined would be a problem in sprint, and it was. We came out of the tight hairpin turn that you're gonna see, and my front right tire caught the back left bumper of the cart in front of me, and I rolled up on his cart, and unfortunately my front right tire was stuck between his left rear drive tire and the bumper, and I couldn't do anything. We were hooked, and we went for a little ways, and I'm trying to get off of it. He's trying to push off, and unfortunately by the time we got ourselves kind of dislodged from each other, you know, a couple carts went by, we got past, and I ended up finishing 6th in the heat. So that dropped us back a little bit. Unfortunate, I know, but like I said, it's just how it works. So in the feature, we started P6. That's not what I wanted because I'm on the outside again. So once again, coming around in the feature, the main, come around the corner, you're already kind of at a disadvantage, and right out of the gate, they kind of take off a little bit. So, and no, now that I think about that, I take that back. We had 2 cautions in the beginning, and the start of the race, we started single file line. Sorry, I haven't reviewed the film for a little bit yet, so I'm still trying to remembering how all this worked. But we started single file line. That's right. It was good battling. It was good racing. Lucas, I was on you, bud. I was bound determined I was going to get you. And unfortunately, the hairpin turn just didn't work out for us on, I can't remember which lap it was, a cart in front, because you come in fast and hard, and you basically have to be able to know what your braking situation is, because if you've got a very tight braking setup and you just tap those brakes and it locks them up, that corner is not meant for you. And I set my braking system up so that I have not a tight short throw on my braking system, but an actual like plush, like I can feel it coming in, and I know when it's about to lock up. There was a cart that locked it up in the front, spun sideways. I had nowhere to go besides off the track, and there was a person on the inside of me, and we were turning left. I had nowhere to go. I legit had to lock the brakes up. So the brakes locked up, I spin around, and the only thing I can do is sit there, because I'm looking back towards the direction of the oncoming traffic, which is taking the tight hairpin turn. So I can't go out without risking just smashing into somebody. And I'm sure, I mean, I don't want to do that, obviously. So that stuck me back quite a ways. And I knew at that point, I was like, you know what? We just got to race. We just got to see what we can do. So I continued to race on, caught up to a couple people, And eventually I caught up to a crew that I knew I could get around. I just couldn't find the perfect spot to do it. And if there's anything I know about the dirt series and how I race and how you guys understand, is that I'm not afraid to send it. I'm really not afraid to send it. And I did a couple times, and it bit me in the butt. There was one time trying to pass the crew at the very end, trying to take the inside corner, basically going off-road, and it didn't work. They took off, the dirt slowed me down, so I was like, okay. So I tried catch back up, and then something that happened to me that I never thought would happen again, but I always knew about it, was when I raced in Colorado, there was a moment when I was racing, and I still have the footage of it, and I learned this the hard way, is that when you're turning and you're pushing somebody in front of you, you should never be locked up pushing somebody through a turn and through a corner. And it happened to me. What happens is, as you're pushing, I don't know if the cart flexes up or flexes down, but basically your front end lifts a little bit to the point where your front tires aren't on the ground. So you're legit, you go from turning just going straight. When the cart comes back down on those tires, you're done. You're sliding. And it happened to me again. And I knew like a split second before it happened, it just was a flashback of when I raced in Colorado, and it happened to me. And as soon as I thought about it, it happened. And it slung me off into the dirt, and we hit some ruts and nasty stuff. When I come back on, my front bumper split and folded under the cart. I knew that it had. And the only thing I could think of was looking over at the flag man, and I saw him wave the white flag, and I was like, all right, you know what? All I got to do is finish the race. That at this point, I'm not going to go off because I don't know how their point system works, and I don't want to lose points by having a DNF. So it was definitely a roller coaster, got a little aggressive, but that's just how it is. And we came in, I think, at a respectable 9th. So you have to be able to be as happy and accepting of your accomplishments as much as you do with your defeats, basically. And this year I want to have fun just racing, so it really wasn't as upsetting as I thought it was going to be. I still had fun, still was a blast. The only thing I'm upset about is the fact that the front bumper rolled over. Now we have to kind of rivet things back together somehow, some aluminum plates. Lucas, thanks for the idea on that. So we definitely learned something here this time, and that is, don't push a cart that's slower than you through a turn. Definitely something I hope now will definitely be on my mind if that scenario comes up. But either way, take a look. It was, like I said, just a roller coaster ride, but it is what it is. 9th place. See you guys.